Hey there. This week I made some little ferns because I needed to make a lot of foliage in a pretty short period of time for my diorama because I had some mishaps during the week with it and I needed to come up with a nice quick fix that looked realistic. And I came up with these little ferns, and they are really fast to make and they look quite good. And also the way I've made them, you can move them and shape them, and also you can clean them. So they're pretty good little ones, and yeah, I'll be making more, lots more. So I hope you get something from this video and I hope you enjoy it. I'm using black paper for this. It's not quite a cardboard, it's just a nice thick black paper, and I've put some yellow and green paint on. Just doesn't really matter greatly what colours you use as long as you get the desired colour you're after. I do it very roughly to create lines and patterns that are kind of random, and it's so shiny and plasticky. That's why you can clean it, because it's literally just a plastic leaf after I've put enough paint on. You just cut them to the desired length that you're going to want each leaf or each frond. You can see these, one I did with a cream coloured pencil and one I did with a yellow texture. It's like a paint pen. And I wasn't quite happy with the cream pencil because it made the leaf look a little kind of washed out. But I do like the effect, but I wanted it like more sun-kissed, so I went with the yellow, and it really brought that green right out. So if you want to change the colour of the leaf, just go with the pencil or pen or texture or whatever you use on it, and that will greatly alter the colour. Cut each leaf to the shape that you want it, each frond. Oh, I'm just going to keep saying leaf. And then once you've done it, you just do little tiny snips, down each side. You can follow this pattern you want if you like, but I mean, you don't really need to, because it's meant to look natural, so you can be quite rough with it. Don't go all the way to the centre, or you will obviously cut your leaf in half, your frond in half once you've done the other side. So just go about, a little bit, a couple of mils is plenty enough. You just want it to look like they're individual. They don't have to actually be cut too far. Once it's done, you can give it a little bend, and because the paint is so plasticky and cheap, it will just hold its shape. It's literally turned it into a plastic leaf. It's great. And you can move them around all the time. You can even put wire. You can glue, fine wire at the base of each of these, or along them, whatever you like. Depends how big you want to make your leaves. But they're great. I love these. And you can make them really tiny. That's the good thing about it. Got my little toothpicks that I put a little bit of black paint on, or brown, it doesn't really matter, green if you like, and some super glue. And this powder I'm using is bicarb. It will almost instantly bond the super glue, so you won't have to hang on to it. But it will also instantly bond it to your fingers. Not that you need help with super glue on fingers. I struggled a little bit with this, I think because I was under the camera, it was so close. But yeah, I put obviously too much of the bicarb on. So you have to work with it when you're practicing, like I was just doing. And you'll get just the right balance of bicarb with the glue, and you'll find an instant bond. And then this process is greatly sped up once you get that little balance right. After you also get a few of these on, and there's a bit more of a base to adhere them to, you find them real quick and easy to apply as well. You can just open them up and then put a couple in the middle, put some smaller ones in the centre. Any bigger leaves you made, perhaps put them around the base. Try and be a little bit logical about it, I suppose. You can see I didn't put smaller ones in the middle. I don't know, this was one of my practice ones, so I got better as I went. I put about a dozen of these fronds on each one. Once you get the process of making the lines and cutting them, and then it's a super quick thing. You can move them around and shape them however you like. The more you move these, the more you'll see each individual cut. You just have to be careful not to go breaking them, because they are a little bit fragile. You don't want to be too rough with them, but you'll find they'll look more realistic when you just sort of move them around. Maybe you could use them like a brush and just sort of run them across a desk or something. It probably would help. I didn't do that, but it's just an idea I was thinking of just then. I used XPS foam just to make a really rough pot. I basically did this for the thumbnail of the video, but I thought I'd show you anyway. Made an impression for the top. I used a little bit of twine just to make the terracotta looking pot. I did it this way so I wouldn't have issues with it being incorrect going all the way around. Screwed it till it was tight enough to make a good impression. And that was it. And I've left this rough because I want it to look like, an old terracotta pot. Just increased the depth of the impression I'd made with the twine. Geez, my fingers ended up really bad after this glue and paint, and anything I was near stuck to them. I just chucked it into a jar of watered down black and brown acrylic paint. Gave it a little bit of a soak, probably for a couple of minutes, pulled it out and let it dry. You could leave it like this. It looks good enough to be a pot, but I chucked a little bit of acrylic paint on top. I think it's a burnt sienna. Super quick and easy. It only took like 5 minutes from start to finish to do this whole thing, and that's drying time included. I did sand the pot, made it porous so it dries real quick. I popped a hole in it to insert the fern. I did that before I put the soil on, because I find when glue dries with soil it can be pretty hard to penetrate it, so I just did it first. Made it nice and even with the brush so I don't get it all over the edge of the pot. I inserted the skewer just so also it doesn't fill up with the soil when I put the soil on. And you just take it back out when you're done so it doesn't accidentally get glued in there. Let it dry, and then that's your pot done. You can jam that fern in there, and it's one little piece that, it's so quick. It'd probably take you 10 minutes to do the whole thing. Looks good. I like how rough it is. These would be great for dolls' houses. They're just such a quick little build. But I'll be using them on dioramas. They're terrific. Almost looks like an aloe vera. And that's the ferns done. Well, I hope you found this one a useful one. I know I certainly did. It's going to be a lifesaver for my diorama. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.